Hello there, friends! The matches of Group C have come to an end. Although that particular group was not the most interesting, we still managed to witness a couple of surprises on the last day. In general, let's see who was strong enough to pass through and who failed to do it. And basically, as always, we will discuss what is happening on the pro scene now. It turns out that the guys from Cloud9 are eager to conquer Blast. They don't have a partnership, but they have Shiro in the team, which means their slot at Blast is in the bag. Let's get straight to it. It would be just about right to start as usual with the news about Source 2. By this time so far we had no new leaks. That means all we have to do is keep waiting and fingers crossed, let's hope that this is all not an April Fool's joke. But all this news seems to make people return to the good old CS because people think it will soon be gone. So for example on the weekend the game set another online record, this time 1,420,000 people at peak. That's 40,000 people more than we've seen the last time, and it's mad crazy. I wonder what will happen when Source 2 gets announced. By the way, Kerrigan continues to draw people's attention to this topic. Just look at his face when Twists talks about what he would like to see in Source 2.
Everything textured.
I think someone here might have signed an NDA or something. Can't.
I mean, we had 3 days off.
There are rumors that Kerrigan has signed a non-disclosure agreement with Valve, but these are just rumors. Old pal Kerrigan always knew how to play to the audience even before that. Apparently, Olofmeister has learned a lot from his captain and now is pretending to be a Boomich in matchmaking.
If I'm Boomich? Yeah, it's me, Boomich. Yeah.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Boomich, come on!
Hello, Zuka. Harosh?
Okay, all jokes aside, but what's with the news, you might ask? Nothing interesting happened, honestly. Well, except for the fact that Copenhagen Flames decided to remove Rigali. Yeah, that's right, the one who carries the entire team, and took Farleg instead. According to their CEO, Farleg is better in terms of suiting in their structure. Well, and now the guy has a chance to prove that all that happened in Astralis was just a misunderstanding. And you may as well ask me, is there any news on Navi? Yeah, not quite. They are preparing for their group at the ESL Pro League, which starts on Wednesday. The guys seems to be pretty busy doing pracs here and there against Loba's stack, for example. They lost with a score of 12-18. In case you didn't know how pracs work, teams play 15 rounds for each side to train both defense and attack. Well, and Simple even managed to get himself killed off with a knife.
Maybe walking.
It's only a game. Why you have to do that?
Yeah, I know, these are just pracs and all that, but it's just this news has made too much noise on the internet, just like the next one. And, well, this is the main topic of discussion in the community at the moment. Okay, what happened? See, there's this Ukrainian website, gameinsight.ua. They have been posting all sorts of news about esports for a very long time. So, recently they posted a screenshot of a chat with HooXi from Telegram. A charity tournament organizer approached HooXi, mentioning that the money raised from that fundraiser will be used to help Ukraine. And this account with the nickname HooXi requested $500 for participation in this championship. Further, we can see that it was explained to him that the tournament is held for charity. There will be Edward, Senya and others. So the participation must be on a voluntary basis. To which HooXi allegedly replied, this is a quote from the screenshot, "I'm sorry, but Russia's victory is inevitable. I do not want to help Ukraine in any way in this senseless war. They must learn the language of diplomacy, not force." End of quote. Naturally, this caused a huge wave of outrage in the community. G2 already had problems because of photos with flags, and now this. HooXi even seemed to write a huge post basically saying that it's time to stop provoking them on all sorts of political topics, reminding people that they're just a bunch of nerds who play CS. And then he himself attracts unwanted attention to himself. Of course, all this looks like some sort of comic situation with the condition that HooXi asked $500 for participating in the tournament. Like, man, he just won $1 million at Blast, then in Katowice, and then suddenly he needed $500. But, for example, a former player of Navi's prime composition, Senya, says that it could have really been HooXi.
В общем, жаркая ночка намечается. Я смотрю, всем понравилась новость. В общем, если честно, есть довольно небольшой шанс, что все-таки это фейк, потому как все-таки надо верифицировать аккаунт, с которым общались. Типа, это может быть скамер у организатора, который, типа, потребовал $500. Но есть определенные но. Во-первых, организатор утверждает, что это трушный аккаунт. Во-вторых, этот аккаунт почему-то удалил переписку, то есть он написал, потребовал $500 в начале, и как бы, ну, если бы это был скамер, мне кажется, он мог бы раскручивать как-то на эту сумму. Админ турнира очень проверенный человек, и он врать точно не будет, поэтому я ему верю на 100%. Соответственно, велик шанс, что это true HooXi.
At the same time, other popular Ukrainian analysts and casters as Patrick and Uho, on the contrary, believe that it all looks like a fake, and there is no point in drawing conclusions ahead of time. Manesi also came to the defense of his captain. Next time, write to HooXi in VK, the platform he has never had a profile in, clown behavior. VK.com is a Russian social network, by the way. Also, the Telegram community managed to check this account through some programs and has found that this alleged HooXi has been going through all sorts of Ukrainian CSGO Telegram channels the day before. And what's more interesting, this person has been searching words sewing and needlework before. I don't really know if this is really possible to find such an account history in Telegram, but people provided us with such info. Well, the editor of HLTV, Ryan, put an end to this shady story. He contacted G2 and HooXi, and they confirmed that this whole situation was fake and provocative. So yeah, that's basically the end of the story. So friends, if you have anything to say about this circus, just write in the comments below. Well, let's move on from scandals to some more positive news. Inters got married, which we congratulate him on. And while he's celebrating his new status, his past teammates are sweating hard to get a slot at Blast. Cloud9 had to fight hard at the Tier 2 tournament in order to get to Blast Showdown, and they did it. They beat Aurora, Bad News Eagles, and finally Voivoda. And by the way, in a very close match, the score was 16-14, 16-14. People say that this team is known for using the radar hack, but Cloud9 couldn't care less. They have snatched this slot and will finally conquer rivals at Blast. Shiro is as always incomparable, even pro players are shocked by his shape. This is what Elish wrote. Shiro has been absolutely out of this world this year. God tier literally every series. Sheesh. And now I have some very useful info for you guys. Many of you might still buy games for full price on Steam Market and play CSGO without Prime, meeting cheaters in every match. And I found a solution for you. Zelenka Guru Market. Here you can find certified Steam accounts with purchased games or Prime. It's a huge marketplace where efficiency and fairness are verified, so you can buy whatever you want with no worries and enjoy. You can trust them. They have reviews, ratings, and even a 12-hour warranty, in case anything happens with your newly acquired account. Regardless if it's EGS, Steam, or any other. The support will answer you ASAP and will return your money if anything happens. There's also a forum where you can participate in games giveaways, discuss any sorts of questions, or simply find like-minded people. You can read reviews, learn people's opinion, and ask which VPN is the best right now. That is, learn anything you want here. Just follow the link in the description and save your own money. Thanks for watching the ad, and let's continue. Well, and now let's talk about the ESL Pro League. We already seen how the group has ended, and I have something to tell you. So, last time we stopped at the bottom grid. We discussed matches between Greyhound and 00 Nation, and OG versus Pain. And if in the first case everything turned out as expected, with the Brazilians looking cool without their in-game leader Taco, but still couldn't destroy the Australians, then the guys from OG basically miserably failed on the decisive map. It was Inferno. They were leading with a score of 14-12, but there was a problem, playing for T-side, and when you don't have Nexa, it gets really tough really fast. First, they lost to Skulls, who was solo on B, and then the situation got even worse. They couldn't dominate while outnumbering the opponent during 14-14, and lost the round basically solo to Biguzera. He made 2 frags during retake and survived after defusing the bomb against Fiku. That's how OG OG took their place in the last chance grid. And now let's go further to 00 Nation and Rooster. These teams couldn't beat anyone at all and played with each other at the very bottom of the bracket. So between these two teams, the roster with Cold Zero turned out to be stronger. Although after the first map, when we saw the score being 316, it was a hard thing to believe. And you won't believe what a surprise happened at the same time. NIP lost to Greyhound and the guys were simply dropped into the last chance grid, so they joined OG there. Moreover, LXCB's team won on the first map with a score of 16-2, and then we witnessed a complete failure on Vertigo, and it was their pick. NIP won only 4 rounds in the first half and then went to the decisive Mirage. And here the guys in pajamas got wrecked. First, they were leading with a score of 11-8. Playing CT side, they had just to finish the map, but just look what they're doing. The 3 of them are pushing middle and they just die from Lias in under. Well, is this even a proper way to push middle? Why is Brolin watching the exit from top mid if Raz there is dealing with defense? NIP seems to have troubles with communication. After that, they also lost in several key clutches. From that moment, NIP didn't win a single round and went to join OG in the last chance grid. Who could have thought that these teams would fight for survival? So let's see how they did it. NIP versus OG. The game turned out to be surprisingly sweaty, but only on the second map. On their Vertigo, NIP lost only 1 round in the second half and won 10 in a row. On Mirage, we saw a much closer game. OG were ready to bring the meeting to the third map, leading with a score of 12-6. However, here they begin to make fatal mistakes in each round, as we see here, for example. Fico and Nico decide to perform an aggressively early push on B against Pistols. It turned out to be the worst decision of the whole game. They gave away the plant B for free and somehow everything started to go not according to the plan at all. OG lost several key clutches and NIP moved the game to overtime, where they eventually lost. 35 frags from Dexter was not enough apparently. Yeah, OG have it rough without Nexa. So rough. But let's go further. Here we have the main stars of this group, 00 Nation. They lost to OG on the first day, then were destroyed by Greyhound. They had problems even with Rooster. However, one victory was enough for the Brazilians to turn on their beast mode. Being on the verge of relegation, they defeated Greyhound in a rematch and threw them out of the tournament. And finally, in a battle for the last slot, they were meeting NIP. Unfortunately, they didn't put a great show. LXCB's team was dominating the opponent of the first map with a score of 12-3. The org couldn't resist the temptation of making a little fun on Twitter. They posted a tweet saying, "Wake me up when the Brazilians log on to the server." Well, and they eventually logged in. On Nuke, 00 Nation simply destroyed NIP with a score of 16-7. And on Ancient, the Brazilians showed what they call a real attack. They spent the whole second half going to A, and NIP couldn't do anything at all against these exits. And this is the story how the old pal called Zira got his young guys into the playoffs. Who would have thought, right? Everything started off terribly for them with 2 defeats in a row. Great job, guys. Great job. Well, and NIP still can't build their game properly and continue to show the most unstable CS. Someone says that's all about LXCB, someone thinks that's the communication is to blame. Friends, what do you think about NIP? What are they missing? Write in the comments below. Well, quickly I would like to mention other Brazilians. The guys from Pain lost to NIP on the first day and then they easily walked through the lower grid. Finally they had to defeat Greyhound, which they coped with and also made it to the playoffs. It turns out that we already have 3 teams from Brazil taking their places in the next stage. While North America is having troubles, South America is good to go. Well, and now it's time for the main match, Vitality versus FaZe. In terms of importance, it doesn't affect anything much. Both teams are already in the playoffs. It remains only to find out at what stage they will continue their journeys. Anyway, everyone was expecting a tight fight, but we couldn't see it at first. FaZe just destroyed their opponent for T side. Vitality couldn't come up with something in response. Nothing simply worked. They played quite passively. We could easily see Kerrigan or Robs going into the back, and that's it, the round was falling apart. They tried to play aggressively, but their opponent simply read it like an open book. 14-1 for T-side. Yeah, no chances were given. And guys, Guess what happens next? Yes, a full repeat of the first half, now only in the opposite direction. Exactly the same thing. Vitality couldn't be stopped, to the state that they were already doing unthinkable things. They even handled 2 versus 5 situation in their favor. As a result, Vitality brought the game to overtime, and here FaZe seems to have vanished from the server at all, having managed to win only 1 round. The guys from Vitality make a historic comeback and win on Anubis, and only God or maybe Kerrigan knows what happened to FaZe. After what happened on Anubis, FaZe got lost completely. The game on their nuke wasn't going in the right direction at all. They managed to win only 4 rounds for T-side, and this is taken into account they won both pistols and force rounds. But, well, you know these guys. FaZe are the masters of getting out of the most difficult situations, especially on their favorite nuke, and even playing for CT side. Moreover, Kerrigan is highly motivated to correct his mistakes on Anubis, and so he did everything to bring nuke to overtime. But during overtime, Zyvu switched on his prime skills and decided to deal with his opponent single-handedly. He finished nuke with stats of 38 to 21. Zyvu is in his fiercest shape. That way, with the help of their main Frenchman, Vitality won during overtime and took first place in the group. And this is where we finish Group C. You have a grid with the results of the matches in front of you. The next group starts on Wednesday. We will see Navi, Astralis, Liquid and Spirit competing there. In general, I'm sure there will be some interesting things to discuss. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything CSGO related, and I don't say goodbye for a long time. See you soon.